Here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Welcome to this special edition of Oklahoma Horizon. Today, we're going to take a different track, but only slightly. As always, we hope to give you insight into our changing world by visiting with various experts, and today I have a studio full. Joining me are representatives of Oklahoma's Agricultural Leadership Program, a group whose purpose is to utilize their own knowledge and skills to solve problems and explore opportunities for rural Oklahoma and the agricultural communities that they serve. And today, our entire focus is on the changes underway in rural Oklahoma. And I believe probably no one can give us a better insight into those changes than the people that live it every day. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us here today. Thank you so much. I want to start off, if we can, with an article out of Time magazine. And the title of it is, "Want to make more money than a banker? Become a farmer. If you want to become rich, become a farmer." I want to know what everyone thinks about that. And I want to start off with you, Blaine.
Well, I think that's probably an interesting perspective because the majority of Americans probably don't associate our farm producers as people who make a large amount of incomes. But the farming landscape has changed a lot over the past few years, and that we have some producers, more producers who are farming larger amounts of acreage and therefore are probably have a lot more income than our farmers did 50 years ago.
Yeah, and he actually attributes it to, let me read a little bit for you. At a time when the overall economy is limping along at an anemic growth rate of 1.9%, net farm income was up 27% last year and is expected to jump another 20% in 2011. Now, we have two bankers, one from the corners of the state, Miami, I believe, or Veneta, and then Altus. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I think that it certainly is good times for farmers and ranchers alike in these times, but well, I think we have to remember that it is cyclical. You know, it is. There are good times and are more tougher times, and so I think we have to keep that in perspective.
Also, I would agree. It's a tough road. You know, weather conditions, commodity markets. There's just a tremendous amount of things that cause these variabilities in incomes, and yearly it's cyclical. It's a tough deal for each individual operator, for sure. Yeah,
and something that we're certainly experiencing, and I know this in the area that you live in, Danielle, is awfully dry out there. And so while there have been some good times, there's some awfully bad times right now too.
Drastic drought, very severe.
So how does a farmer prepare for something like that?
As a livestock producer, I think that a diversified operation really helps. A lot of my producers are looking at other avenues, taking different routes, not completely selling out their cattle, but you know, trying to scrounge around and find hay, but opening up themselves to selling stock tanks or selling feed bins, just diversifying all the way around, selling insurance.
And having a couple of jobs. I'm curious, how many people here have two jobs to support your way of life? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9. And that's very typical out in farm country, is it not? Tell me more, Jessica.
Well, everybody has to have an off-farm income just due to stability anymore. Health insurance is a big deal for those of us with kids or small children, parents, elderly parents. You know, you have your insurance, of course, and like I said, and then you also have just that stability. You know, bankers want to see that stable income. Mm-hmm. You know, that's not based on the weather and the drought.
And while it's certainly good times, I think we have to note here that while farmers may well be making a lot of money, they're also spending a lot of money to make it.
Rob, when they talk about the 27% increase in net farm income, the farmers are also spending a higher percentage than that in just fertilizer costs. We import a lot of fertilizer in this country, as well as we make a lot. But that fertilizer cost has increased in excess of 27%.
Absolutely, I agree. Our input costs are going up, but it's also a great time to be in agriculture. The technologies that have come about in the last 10 years have changed dramatically. Our efficiencies are improving. So if you keep up with changing times, you diversify. As Danielle said, diversification is a key. Now is a good time, but you have to be smart, and it's not going to make you millions, but it is a good lifestyle.
All right. When we return, we take an up-close look at life down on the farm.